Now today I'm going to be cooking up some pulled pork. Now it's nice and easy to do because once you've got it in the oven, you leave it to cook long and slow. At the end of it, the pork just pulls apart with a couple of forks, the bone pops out, absolutely scrummy. Now it's a really good one for Thanksgiving or Christmas or your roast dinner because, as I say, once you're cooking it long and slow, it gives you plenty of time to get everything else sorted out, get your dinner table laid out. It's just nice, simple recipe. So give it a go. So just to go through the ingredients, now I've got my piece of pork there. This is pork shoulder, which is really, perfect for making pulled pork. Now mine's got the bone in because that tends to give it a little bit more flavour. In terms of weight, mine's just over 3 kilograms and I've got the skin on, so we should get some really nice crackling. Now with the skin, try and get your butcher to score it with a knife. It just helps it to crackle up. So, buy it from your butcher, tell them what you're making and get them to prepare it for you. Now what I'm going to do is put some olive oil all over the whole piece of meat on the skin. On the top, the skin bit, we're just going to use salt, and on the rest of it, we're going to make up a nice spice mix. So let's move the piece of meat aside and I'm going to bring the spice mix to really flavour up this meat. Now for the rest of the ingredients, I've got those laid out. Now obviously I mentioned about the olive oil. The reason we've got that, we want to rub it on the meat, on the skin, so that everything sticks to it and flavours it up. So put a little bit of olive oil all over it, make it, nice, and everything will stick to it and it'll make it flavoursome and delicious. Now, I've got my spice mix here. Now, I've actually got 2 tablespoons. Now, I'm using tablespoon measurements. That's the big spoon. 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika. 1 tablespoon of onion salt. Now, with the onion salt, 3/4 of that is actually the salt. So, it's only a little bit of the onion part. So, onion salt, 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of freshly ground black pepper. 1 tablespoon of garlic granules. Now, if you haven't got garlic granules, you could use fresh garlic. You need to crush it. And I'd say you want, 2, 3 or 4 garlic cloves, all crushed, depending on the size of them. But garlic granules, and then we've got herbs de Provence, 1 tablespoon of that. Now, with this one, herbs de Provence, really nice sort of mixture. It's mostly rosemary and thyme. So, you can obviously use Italian herbs or you could use fresh thyme, whatever you want, but 1 tablespoon. Then I've got some sugar. Now this sugar, demerara, and I would say roughly 2 tablespoons of that. If you haven't got that particular one, but you've got brown sugar, use that instead. Now I've also got a little bit extra salt because I'm going to use that to go on the skin to help draw the water out and make your crackling. And then finally, I've got some water. Now I'm actually going to use hot water because, I'm going to pour that in, and when we've got it cooking, it just helps to stop the meat from shrinking. And also, because we're going to cook it under a little bit of tin foil, it helps to sort of make it nice and moist in there and keep the meat really lovely. So there's all the ingredients. Now I'm going to bring the piece of meat back and we're going to start mixing up all these herbs and spices and get it on the meat and flavour it up. Now I've got my baking tin. We're going to sort of prepare the meat and we're going to cook it in. Now what I'm going to do is just bring the piece of meat over and just initially put that on there like that. And just going to use some olive oil. Now I'm going to put a little bit in my hand. I think what we can do is just rub that over, turn this over, and you just want to get a little bit of olive oil all round the piece of meat, because the reason we're doing this, as I say, is really to make sure that everything sticks to it and flavours it up good. Oh, look at this piece of meat, looks absolutely wonderful. So get plenty on there. Like that. Try and rub it into little crevices. Oh, it's going to be good. Let's get in this last little bit there. Lovely. Now, I'm going to leave it upside down at the moment. So, skin side down if you like. Now what I'm going to do is get myself a bowl. And I'm going to pour everything into the bowl like that. Give that a good mix around. Get everything sort of mixed up, nicely incorporated. Lovely. Oh, it's smelling beautiful. Now what I can do is just sprinkle that over. And we want to try and get this as much as you can on the meaty part. You can even rub it in. Oh, it's smelling so good. I know this is going to be beautiful and so tasty. Now, we can turn that around. Doesn't matter, you've got a little bit on top. Now, I'm going to use a little bit of salt just for the top there. If you've got rock salt, you know, chunky salt, use that. But, you know, just use what you've got. Again, rub it in. And that will help draw the water out when you're cooking it. So, got that done. Just move it around, get that spice mix on there. You can always pick a little bit of that leftovers, rub it in again. Wonderful. That is well seasoned and flavoured up. And really, that is ready to go in the oven. So let's switch the oven on and get this cooking. Now with that piece of pork, that is looking good, it's smelling wonderful, and that is ready to go in the oven. Now I switched my oven on and it's come up to temperature. Now I've actually got my oven on at maximum temperature because I'm going to place it in there, give it a bit of a kickstart, and what I want to do is, with the skin, I just want to get it on its way so it turns into a wonderful crackling. So I would say for about the first 20 minutes, a little bit more if you like, just get that crackling on its way. Once it's been in there for 20 minutes or so, then we can pour some hot water in there and then cover it with tin foil, and then we're going to cook it long and slow. Now I've had the piece of pork cooking for a good 20 minutes there. Look at that, beautiful. Now be careful because it's really, really hot. I think what I'll do is, I've got my kettle boiled and I'm just going to pour that in there. Put some water in there. Get a good little bit of water in there. Now what I'm going to do is pull that out. I'm going to wrap it up in tin foil and then we're going to pop it back in the oven. Now what I'm going to do is just get a bit of tin foil and we need to start covering this up. So probably put a double layer. So I think that's ready to go. There you go, beautiful. Now let's pop that back in the oven, but this time I'm going to turn the oven temperature right down and cook it long and slow. Now I've turned the temperature down. Temperature wise, I've got 140 degrees Celsius, which is 275 degrees Fahrenheit, gas mark 1. So I would say you want to cook that for at least 5 hours, maybe a little bit more. Just make sure it's all nicely cooked. So I'll see you in about 5 hours. Now I've had the pork slow cooking for about 5 hours. Obviously we gave it that little boost at the beginning and I'm going to do the same at the end. So it's been cooking, slow cooking, 5 hours. I'm going to take that tin foil off, and what I'm going to do is, again, turn the temperature right up to maximum, and I'm probably going to give it another 15 or 20 minutes. The same we did at the beginning, because I just want to get the crackling a little bit more crackly. So shut the oven door, turn the temperature right up, and get that crackling looking good. Now just taking it out of the oven, and listen to that beautiful crackling. Now I'm going to move that back, and I'm going to transfer it on a plate, put a little bit of tin foil over it, and leave it to tenderise. Now I've left that pork for an hour to tenderise, loosely covered it with tin foil. Look at this. Oh, let's have a look. Now what we got here is the crackling. Now I'm just going to take the crackling off to start with. Oh, look at that. That is magnificent. Oh, trying to get this off. Just going to put that on a separate plate there. Oh yeah, lovely. Now I think the rest of it, we should just be able to sort of lay it down and use some forks, and really you should be able to sort of use your forks just to make it like pulled pork. And really I think, you know, one of the tests is if you can pull the bone out. So look at that, pull the bone out, nice and cleanly. That is a beautiful pulled pork. And what you can do is, with the rest of it, you just use your forks, break that down. That is absolutely scrummy, scrummy, scrummy. And obviously, if you're having a roast dinner, your Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving, you got something beautiful. Now, let's just try some of this. Let's see how that is. Oh. That is absolutely wonderful. And I just got a little bit of crackle in there. Let's try this. Lovely and crackly. Oh. This is beautifully soft. Oh, it's lovely. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. The original Naked Chef.